Knicks fans, what's going on? Far here from the MadGood Knicks Show, here to bring you a special interview. So, of course, RJ Barrett played his first Summer League game against his buddy Zion Williamson. And this was a game of epic, seismic proportions, literally, because there was an earthquake that postponed and then later ended the game for the Knicks. We're going to bring on Mike Vorkunov. He is a writer for The Athletic, covers the Knicks, covers the NBA. We get into a discussion about what happened that first Summer League game. He was, of course, there, so I'm going to ask him some earthquake-related questions, talk a little bit about NBA free agency, and then, of course, dive into what we expect from our New York Knicks. All right, Mike, so thanks again for joining us here on the MadGood Knicks Show. First and foremost, you were out there last night, RJ Zion, a game of seismic proportions, and then an earthquake happened. So what happened? What was the initial reaction? Take us through that.
Well, I think it was confusion at first, and then it was everyone looking up to see everything swaying, and it was kind of maybe a little bit of panic. And I'd say slowed down or stopped at least after like a minute or two. By then, everyone was just trying to figure out what the next step was. Obviously, the game got postponed really quickly, and everyone just kind of scrambling around to see if it was plausible to keep playing, if there's any need to keep playing. And the fans were starting to boo when it seemed like they might cancel the game, and they cheered when it was only postponed. Eventually, though, they kind of ended it, rightfully so, I think, considering the earth was moving below the arena. And it was a weird night. There was a lot of people just trying to figure out what the hell was going on. The Knicks said they didn't feel the earthquake while they were on the court playing. They didn't even know until like people started moving and panicking and making noise and stuff like that.
Alonzo Trier dunked in the midst of that earthquake. Now, glad to hear, of course, no one was hurt or anything. Knicks ended up, as you just mentioned, taking the loss. Just a brand new way for the Knicks to lose is an earthquake postponed game. Let's talk a little bit about the game in and of itself. What were your thoughts initially on seeing RJ Barrett for the first time in his debut as a pro?
I think he pushed it a little bit. He was 4 of 18. You know, look, it's really hard to make anything out of just one game, so I want to provide that with that caveat. And I wrote that in the story, too, that I from last night. You know, it was kind of the same stuff that people have been saying about him coming into the league, where sometimes he gets a little too tunnel vision-y, and he's looking for his own shot. But on the other hand, you know, this is Summer League debut. He's trying to make an impact. He's playing against his friends. He started slowly there. He wasn't really being that aggressive in terms of looking for his own shot early on, and then he started shooting. And I don't know. It's fine. I guess the most important thing to watch is how often he gets to the basket here in Summer League. You remember last year, Kevin Knox, although he struggled so much as a rookie, and Summer League was really good, and he was able to get to the line. He was able to like be aggressive. He showed off his athleticism. RJ wasn't able to do that last night, so it's going to be interesting to see tomorrow when the Knicks play, I think it was the Suns, if he can be more aggressive, get to the rim, just kind of be a little more physically dominant and show that off before everything else that comes along with, really getting a shot in the league.
Of these second-year players that you saw, so Knox, Mitchell, Trier, and even throw Kadeem Allen in there, how did you see their growth from last year translate into this year's Summer League?
I mean, Trier looks like he doesn't really need to play anymore. I think he's good. He's like 23. He played 3 years of college. He played pretty good as a rookie. I think he was 8 of 14 last night. He's kind of he's graduated from Summer League, I think. And Knox, you know, he looked better last night. The offense was there last year too, so that's not really what I would be concerned about. It was more that he was, more active defensively. He broke up Zion Williamson lob on the very first play. I think he was a little more energetic, and that's kind of key for him. That was a big question mark for him going into the league. That was a problem for him last year too. So it's important that he's making strides in Summer League and looking better as a 20-year-old. Actually, he might still be 19. I think.
Yeah, he is. Still a teenager.
He's still a teenager. That was important for him to make those types of improvements, and he said he felt more comfortable. And Kadeem Allen, a player like Kadeem Allen doesn't really like make an impact in summer league. You know, that's not his game. He's more of a grinder, a defensive type, move the ball guy on offense. And that's kind of what he was last year. So I don't know. I'm sure he can use this to continue to make an impression. He's still on a two-way, as opposed to those other guys who are on standard contracts.
And what'd you think of Money Mitch? He also got the call from Team USA to practice with them.
Yeah, I think it's about time he shuts it down. Here's the thing, and I don't know if you can notice this on TV. Zion Williamson is a physical beast, and he really puts a pounding on guys. If you try to stop him at the rim, even if you try to defend him, Mitch took one big hit underneath the basket trying to protect the rim from Zion Williamson. He was down for a little bit. He was like hobbling for a little bit afterwards, and then he dunked on everyone. And that's kind of what he does. And so his game seems to be consistent with what it was last year, which is still rim running, defending the rim, and we'll see if he can kind of add, the other aspects, any kind of ball handling, any kind of jump shot outside of the protected area. But in terms of summer league, he does what he does. Just protect him at this point. There's no more need for collisions at the rim.
So big news broke middle of last night here in New York. So more of a sane time where you are in Vegas, but Kawhi Leonard, Paul George to the Clippers. Reason I'm asking you about this, of course, seismic shift within, no pun intended, within the NBA. But now Russell Westbrook is free. What was your initial thoughts about the Clippers landing those two, and then potential landing spots, Knicks, for Russell Westbrook?
Well, my initial thoughts on them landing was pretty much like everyone else. Holy crap, that just happened. Because, it was followed very closely. It was Kawhi and then Paul George. And it's like, oh, wow, Kawhi just did that again. Like, he ended another team, basically, like he has with Miami and he did with the Warriors. In terms of Russell Westbrook, I think he's 30 years old. Maybe he's 31. I don't remember. He's still got a huge contract. Like, this was the biggest in the league when he signed it. He's relied on his athleticism to get where he is. He's a 30% three-point shooter. That's not something I think the Knicks should be going after. I understand he's Russell Westbrook. Like, I understand everything that comes with it. I don't think that that's a guy that they should be investing their resources in, because it'll cost them. Sam Presti's a great GM and he's made the most out of a lot of trades. I don't think that's who they should be using up all those assets that they collected on. That's not who they should have been waiting on. So it'll be interesting. I think Brett Dawson after last night was saying that it would be logical that the Thunder consider moving on from Westbrook now, or at least see what's out there. I'm sure the Knicks should check in. That's all they should, obviously. Like, if that comes out, the Knicks checked on Russell Westbrook, that's nothing to worry about. That's just being a diligent team. I don't know if that's who you want to trade all those first for, because it would be an interesting fit right away, and then I'm not sure what the long-term prognosis for Westbrook looks like. I don't know. You have to be prudent about these things, and so investing in the guy who has, I think, 3 years left, I want to say, in his contract. I think it's something like $40 million each, if I remember correctly, and he's hard to play with, and he really kind of turns the entire franchise around him because of his style of play, let alone his personality. And now it seems like Kevin Durant, part of the reason he left, was playing with Westbrook, and Paul George was playing with Russell Westbrook and said, no, it's okay, I'm going to get out of here instead of staying, right? I think that's kind of the underrated part of this. He was already playing with a star, and he was playing in a place he said last summer he liked.
We'll wrap up. I do want to get your outlook on this year's New York Knicks. What can we potentially expect from them? You got a chance to see them live and in person. Is this going to be a better team than next year, considering all the free agent additions?
Oh yeah, they'll be better. They can't help but be better. That was a 17-win team last year, the worst in the NBA. How much better? I don't know. Will they be a 30-win team this year? Now, because of it, I think they'll be more confident. I think they'll be more savvy. Look, they signed some good veteran free agents that'll help them win more games. That'll help them be more competitive. They have depth now instead of going, like 4 players deep last year. They have a solid, I would say, like almost 10-man rotation. So it's going to be really interesting how David Fizdale juggled the rotation this year, because that wasn't a big question mark for him last year, because sometimes that got to be a little bit confusing watching it and trying to see what he was doing with it. So he's got a lot of players, he's got to juggle. He's got shooters now in Ellington and Bullock, which is big because the Knicks are really that three-point shooting So they'll be more competitive. It'll be interesting to see how they are defensively, though, because there's not a lot of good defensive players on that team.
Is there a tandem with the addition of any of these new free agents plus any of our returning players that you're most looking forward to seeing that you think will absolutely benefit the Knicks here?
I don't know if it'll absolutely benefit them, but I'm curious to see how Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson play together when they do, because I want to see how much space it opens up for Robinson to do what he does, because Randle is kind of like more of a bully type power forward. He shoots some threes, but I think I have to look back at it. It seems to be more corners, and especially when he's wide open. So I don't know what kind of spacing he'll provide for Mitchell Robinson and how well they can work together in terms of high-low. Randle has, he's a pretty good passer. He can handle the ball a little bit. And I want to see what they do with Bobby Portis and how that affects everything, because he's primarily a center in Washington last year. That's, Mitchell Robinson's position. And so it'll be interesting to see how all these bigs that they sign, how they interact with Robinson and how it impacts him. And obviously the other question, I think, is how many shooters they play on the court, because I think they need to play Wayne Ellington or Reggie Bullock most times, and that means that might cut into minutes for RJ Barrett or probably Kevin Knox. So that'll be something to watch for, how that impacts all that.
Now to wrap up here, you saw RJ Barrett in person. What do you think Knicks fans can expect of him? There was a lot of hype surrounding him yesterday, of course, going 4 for 18. As you mentioned, you can't judge a lot based off of summer league, but in your opinion, seeing him in person, going up against what's soon to be one of the NBA's best, Zion Williamson, what do you think Knicks fans can expect from RJ this upcoming season?
I don't think it's any different than the expectations they had going into the draft. I think they have a guy who looks like he's physically ready, and he's going to be looking for a shot a lot, and to be, I don't know how well he's going to shoot. Really, that's the question on it. If his jump shot comes around, the Knicks will probably have a good player. If his jump shot was the same as it was with Duke, now and then for years to come, then he's going to have to find a way to be a really good passer and a good defender and go on from there. To me, it's just, how's his jump shot going to look? And that's going to be worth watching for somebody.
Mike Vorkanoff, reporter with The Athletic, covers the Knicks and the NBA. Mike, enjoy Summer League. Hopefully no more Mother Nature interruptions, but looking forward to a fun season, I think, compared to last year from the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I'm good with no more earthquakes.
Mike, thanks again, my man. Take care. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah. What's up, guys? This is your boy TK, a.k.a. John Legend, as you guys know. I want to thank you guys for watching, and please make sure you do subscribe. And if you like what you saw from previous episodes, or if you just like our faces, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. But wait, please hit that like, comment, and share as well. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.